you've all been standing for a long time. Just a little longer. So my team asked me if I wanted some help with my speech. And I said, you know, I understand that when I'm the mayor, I'm going to have some help writing speeches. But I feel like maybe this is my last time where I get to just say whatever I want. So y'all are getting an unvetted speech here. I can feel some waves of anxiety. It's going to be okay. It is such a pleasure and an honor to be here with all of you today. I look out and I see so many people who have played a role in getting us to this place of promise and hope. I see friends and colleagues and family. I see people I've known for years, and others I just met this year, and many others who I don't yet know. I see people whose names are known and celebrated, and others whose work is quiet and behind the scenes, but no less important. I see fellow organizers. I see union members. I see tech workers and baristas. I see city employees. I see elected officials. And I know there's at least one former mayor here. I see young people and elders. I see people whose families have lived here for generations, and others who maybe just arrived to make Seattle your home. And to all of you, and to everyone watching from afar, and to all of the people who could not be here today because they are doing the hard, unsung work that makes Seattle run, I say, this is your city. This is your city. This is your city, and as your mayor, I will work every single day to make that not just a phrase, but a living reality. This is your city. That means that you belong here. You have a right to be here and to live a dignified life, whatever your background and whatever your income. But it also means that all of us have a shared responsibility for this place and for each other, because Seattle is what we make of it together. It's hard for me to believe that it's been less than 2 months since the election. And in that short space of time, a lot has happened. For one thing, I'm getting really, really good at hiring people. But seriously, I am very excited about the team that will be joining me in the mayor's office. I remember a conversation that I had with my husband sometime shortly after the primary, when it began to look like I might actually become the mayor. And we were talking about what qualities are important in hiring staff, a subject that we obviously knew a lot about. In the end, we concluded that the most important thing is character. Someone might share my vision and my worldview. They might be competent and experienced and effective. But if they're not in this work for the right reasons, if they don't have enough self-awareness to reflect on their own motivations and rise above themselves when needed, then that's not a person that I should put in a position of power. I believe that it is so important that the people working alongside me in the mayor's office every day are good people with good judgment who have the best interest of our city at heart. And I am filled with confidence and hope for the future, in part because I know that that is going to be the case. We're still building this team, but many of them are already on board and are sprinkled among you here today, and I hope you get to meet them. What else has happened since election night? Well, late last month, I had the honor of being noticed by the President of the United States, who called me a very, very liberal/communist mayor. scene. That's all I'm going to say about that. And earlier this month, we launched our transition team. So this team is composed of about 60 volunteers, community leaders, and experts in their fields who are helping to turn many of the issues that I campaigned around into actionable plans and recommendations for my administration. Many of these people are also here today, some of them behind me. And I want to say a few words about their work because I am very proud of what they're doing. So sometimes mayoral transition teams can be a little bit performative. You select a bunch of people with names that other people recognize, you put them in a big room, everyone says their piece, they feel important, you feel important, and then everyone goes home. I really hate that kind of thing. I don't like wasting people's time. So as a community organizer, I decided to do things a little differently. For our transition team, we chose people who are willing to roll up their sleeves, put in real time and labor, and expand the tent. So these 60 people have been hard at work, reaching out to a much wider circle of advisors across the city, building relationships and gathering insights. And so far, in just the few weeks since we launched, they've collectively talked with over 700 more people. This process will continue through January, and I am so grateful for the work of this team and excited to see the recommendations that they assemble. They're digging into all the subjects you might expect: housing and homelessness and transportation and climate action and workers' rights and public safety and so on and on. But when my transition director first shared with me a proposal for the work groups that we would be assembling, there was one that stuck out to me. It was called Civic Narrative and Major Initiatives. And I was like, what does that even mean? Civic narrative. So that's the story that we tell about our city, our collective identity, who we are and where we're going. Major initiatives. They're what happens when the government teams up with the people and the institutions that have access to vast amounts of capital to put on big events or undertake big infrastructure projects that change the face of our city. Now, to be honest, this kind of civic city making and the civic boosterism that supports it, surrounds it, has never been my jam. I'm kind of a rabble-rouser. I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich. I've spent my career organizing with the people who often get left out of those official narratives. But now I'm the mayor. And it's my job to channel excitement for major projects. And not just that, I have to genuinely care about them, enough to exercise good judgment and make the best decisions possible for our city. And so I had a little bit of a crisis of conscience. Can I do that? Can I be the mayor of the waterfront and the World Cup and the stadiums and the Seattle Center and the Convention Center and any other centers we might decide to build? Well, I have some good news for our city. Yes, yes I can. I'll do it in my own way, but I can do that. But that also got me thinking about this idea of civic narrative and Seattle's identity. Because the thing about cities is that there's never just one story to be told about them. Seattle is, we all know, a city of innovation. We're a city of software and same-day delivery and cancer immunotherapy and so much more. The kinds of advances that are powered by our tech and aerospace and biomedical industries, by our major research institutions, by the brilliance of our entrepreneurs and our tech workers and our engineers and our researchers. And that's all a core part of Seattle's identity. But just as there is city making and innovation from above, there is also city making and innovation from below. There are kinds of innovation that no one pays you for, but they're no less important. Because Seattle is also a city that has been home to pioneers in jazz and rock and grunge and hip hop. We're a city of music and literature and the arts. And yes, of course, you can make money in those fields, and some people make a lot of money. But usually before you make any money, there's a long period of not making any money. Of pursuing your calling just because you're in love with it, because you see or hear or feel something that no one else does, and the act of creation gives your life meaning. No one gives you venture capital to become a musician or a sculptor, or to start a small brick and mortar business, to bring something new to vacant space and enliven a neighborhood. And I can tell you from personal experience that no one pays you to start a transit riders union. No one pays you to try to change the way power flows through the city, to change who has a voice in shaping our city's future and its politics. And these kinds of innovation from below are something that I am afraid we are at risk of losing because it is so hard to afford to live in this city. So when we fight for affordable housing and childcare, it is not just about solving the math problem of how to make your household's revenue exceed its expenses. And when we talk about shaping our transportation system and our neighborhoods, it's not just about making people's commutes safer or shorter or less polluting. It's about opening up the time and the space where life happens, where people can breathe and experience and create, where we can be full human beings and not just means to an end. I want to live in a city that honors what you're doing when you're not making money. I'm not talking about watching Netflix, by the way. I mean the time that you spend with your kid at the playground or caring for a sick friend. I want to live in a city that celebrates the labor that people perform voluntarily, like someone, the transit fairy, who spends all day cleaning up bus stops, even though no one is paying her to do it. A city that values the pursuits that create beauty and community, whether or not they ever turn into careers. A city that thinks that you should have time to read a book and lay on the grass staring up at the clouds. Because we need bread, but we need roses too. We all deserve roses. And we can honor this work and leisure too, not just by praising it or saying that we value it, but by fighting to make possible a way of life where you do not have to spend every waking moment figuring out how to pay your bills. Where you don't have to work multiple jobs to support your kids. Where you can raise a family in an apartment because the city is your living room, and the park's your backyard, and the grocery store is a short walk away. And I believe that we can have all of this, but it will require yet another kind of innovation. Innovation at City Hall. We are in a moment that calls for vision and ambition. And also, I know that the necessary foundation for ambition is trust. And there is no more important part of my job as mayor than to build up deserved trust, your trust in local government. And that means listening and responding, solving problems and getting results. That means making true, tangible progress on problems like homelessness, where progress has eluded our city for so many years. I believe that we can do all of this, and we can also do big new things. And we have to do big new things. And I'm going to be calling on all the brilliance and the creativity and the dedication of our public sector workers, our city employees, as we push the boundaries of what we can accomplish together. But most of all, success is going to require all of you. Is anyone here at Seattle City Hall for the very first time this morning? Yes! That's a lot of hands. Welcome. This is your building. This is your building, and I'm going to need you to come back here again and again and again. Because the progress that we need to make It's not just handed down from City Hall. That's not how power works. That's not how power has ever worked. We would not have an 8-hour day, or a minimum wage, or Social Security without workers organizing and fighting for those things. We would not have the rights that we have for women, for Black and brown people, for the LGBTQ+ community, without mass social movements fighting for dignity and equality. These things have never been given to us without people organizing and demanding change from those in positions of power. And the same is true here in Seattle. We wouldn't have some of the strongest tenant protections in the country without renters organizing for those laws. And we wouldn't have free transit for youth if students at Rainier Beach High School hadn't stood up and made that their fight. We wouldn't have Jumpstart Seattle without a multi-year grassroots campaign for progressive revenue